Obviously I'll be off for a second while it's connecting, but then pretty soon we'll be live.
Yeah, sounds great. Will it be under posts or how do you want me to go?
It'll be on should be under my regular page. We are live.
Fantastic.
I'm back to you. What's up, Heather?
Hi, how's it going?
Heather and I, Ted experienced some technical difficulties a few minutes ago. And so welcome guys to the show. Thank you, Heather, for being patient.
Of course.
We're going to look down and share the show really fast to our pages. That's really what's important. Kind of get the word out. And so it's technology. It just makes me, I don't know, it just makes me crazy right now, but
I think all of us are the same.
All right, so welcome to the show. Super excited to have you. I'm going to bring up the show so that I can continue to watch and look for any kind of movement or people who have questions. You are remoting in from another state instead of here in the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about you. You've not been a guest on the show before. I love still serving. I love what you're doing for our community during this time, but I'd like for the viewers to get to know you a little bit.
Sure. I'm a Sagittarius. Now I consider Orlando my hometown. I've been there 20 years. I've moved at the rightful date of 17 to be from Fort Lauderdale. So I'm a native Floridian. Fell in love with Orlando before I ever moved, and that's home for me. And it's killing me that I'm not there, and I'm not there because I'm trapped in Virginia. It's crazy. But I'm doing everything I can to help out. I hate the word, but people call me a crisis junkie. I have a call to action. I do, but I have a call to action whenever there's something going on, especially in our town. I have to do something about it.
Well, why food? Do you have a food background?
I started off as a wedding planner, interestingly enough, and I was regional catering for multiple companies, and I got laid off middle of 2018. I've been doing consulting work for the restaurant industry. So catering, events, marketing, social media. I have one client right now, so I have a little bit, but always looking for more. And it's definitely a trying time for sure. You have to think very much outside the box.
You do, very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that where the impetus behind, like, still serving is such a creative idea? I think we're all trying to figure out our way, our niche, our talent to get the word out and try to help people. Tell us about Still Serving.
It's kind of a weird love child. My friend Kirby, she's incredible. Her husband designed her t-shirts. She was trying to do something for the bars because she's friendly with a lot of breweries. And I said, I know a lot of locally owned restaurants that could kind of really need the help too. We're going to be looking at everybody. So she said, hey, if you make it, we'll work on this together. It's done. I had the group up in 5 minutes. We're going back and forth, change the cover photo about 10 times, driving people crazy. And within about 10 minutes, I had 30 members, sending out everything to our friends. And a great friend of mine, Debbie Andrews, who's a private events director over at Fleming's in Winter Park, she said, please, can I do something to help? So she's one of our great admins. She's very, very supportive. We brought in Irina Pavis, and she works over at Rosen, and her husband's the one that made our bingo cards. So we have really gone step by step, not having a clue what we're doing. And now today we had over 1,700 members, which is awesome. Mostly locally owned and operated restaurants, but we do have some corporate restaurants as well, and that's okay. Our whole goal is for everyone to feel like they have a sense of community, to be able to vent if they need to, reach out and network if they need to, be there to see that other people are having the same struggles or the same successes. We developed these bingo cards, which I don't know if you've gotten a chance to play
yet. I've seen the bingo cards, but I have not. So tell them about the bingo cards.
Yeah, so I like to think that I think outside the box, and right about the same time, there was another gentleman that created bingo cards. So we partnered together to make sure that we weren't stepping on each other's toes. And we've created these bingo cards where members of our group can say, hey, I want to be part of it. Right now we have 6 for all different areas of Central Florida. You play, it's free. They're not being charged anything to do it. It's up to them if they want to give a discount if you come in and show them the card. or you just hold on to your receipt. The minute you get a bingo, you submit it virtually through the Facebook page, and there are very generous venues throughout the area that are donating gift cards. So if you complete a bingo, you get to choose a gift card of your choice.
That's so
I get chills thinking
creative.
about it. Thank you. It's amazing to see how much people are gravitating towards it. Amy Drew from the Orlando Sentinel, she was very supportive and actually covered an article digitally and got published last week from us. And I'm not making money off of it. Debbie, Irina, Kirby, like, we're not making any money off of this. This is what's keeping us going. So
right. Well, I was going to ask you, what are you doing? I mean, you're kind of worse off than a lot of us too, because you're not even in your home state around the people,
paying a lot of money for a hotel room. Yeah.
So how are you staying positive and creative during this time? Do you have any practices? Do you wake up every morning in your hotel room and do yoga or meditation? I think people are looking for, hey, what does she do to stay so positive? Or what does she do to continue the momentum?
I have to embrace the abnormality of it, which I know sounds odd. Everyone's like, oh, it's a new normal, but it's not. There was a great article that came out that said, hey, this is grief. Here's the steps of grief for processing. You have to go at the end of the tunnel. A very dear friend of mine, who's one of the owners of Rock Brewing, said to me when all of this started, and I'm gonna try not to cry, but he's like, you need to be the light in the darkness. You are the light in the darkness. And I feel like I have to embrace that. Well, getting emotional. Sorry, Ted.
That's good. We're all emotional. You should let it out.
Very much so. I cry a lot. I drink a lot of good red wine.
Amen to that.
But I being that crisis junkie after Pulse, I was the event coordinator for the Pride event that was happening that week, and then I was the volunteer site supervisor with 400 volunteers. And the Douglas shootings was my hometown, and I was working with the American Red Cross. This is something that's affecting our whole country, but our giant city is really just a small hometown.
Agreed.
And knowing that this is helping, like the group is helping, talking to people and just getting the word out, making sure that others are taken care of. I think that's what keeps me going. My dad's a frontline employee. He's essential. He's a radiation therapist in Broward County. My boyfriend is a manager at Walgreens. They're essential employees. And I see what they deal with every day. And if I have to absorb they're scared, they're negative, like, that's okay. But being there for them is okay, but knowing what they're going through and really trying to focus. I have a really great group of friends who we talk every day, all day, sharing funny memes, sharing statistics, and just making sure that we're good. I think that check-in with them is highly important. Have you had a Zoom birthday party yet? Because I went to one of those on Saturday.
That's new. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, we played drinking games for like 6 hours. It was great.
Wow.
But
I mean, what did we do? What would we have done without Zoom? I know there's other platforms, don't get me wrong, but this one allows us to interact, from my end, allows me to interact with YouTube and Facebook in such an easy way. What would we have done? I mean, you want to talk about disconnected. It's so great to see a face. That's what I love about this. Regardless of how far away you are, it's still a face. It's a good thing.
I want to reach out and hug everybody, but I can't.
I know. That's the thing I was talking in a group earlier that's the thing I think we all are missing, that hug, especially if you're a huggy person. Yeah. Hugging people, being close, the proximity. Just hearing laughter is something else I was thinking about, because you can get it here, but it's so cool to be in a room full of people, of friends, family, and hearing that laughter. There's something that's really feeds your soul when you hear that stuff. So tell me what you have learned from still serving. Tell me what kind of advice maybe you could give, or what kind of things you're seeing people share that might be beneficial, like in this changing time, some of the comments people have made, some of the struggles, and maybe some of the solutions.
Absolutely. So there have been so many restaurants that did not offer takeout services, that did not offer curbside, and it's incredible to watch the quick adaptability that they've done. They have now created something off the cuff without ever, I mean, I'm not going to name somebody, but I guess about Melting Pot, Colorado Fondue Company. These are places that you go to have an experience. No one's thinking, I'm going to take cheese fondue to go and let me fire up my crock pot from the 70s, which I have, but nobody thinks about that. So it's kind of great to see that. And then you see these other locations are kind of following suit. So a couple of places started doing grocery stores, and it worked well because they have inventory that they have to get rid of before it goes bad, and they've got more stuff coming in, but they're making it available almost at cost. And there's other places that are doing a free toilet paper roll, or a bottle of booze to make it easier, but they're doing that as an incentive for people to come in and to say, hey, we're all here together for this.
I love it because there's also inventory. You mentioned one of the things I see, thank God that we have the ability to sell the booze that we have in stock too, which wasn't that wasn't like a normal thing prior to COVID.
No.
So it's so cool to see these companies who are now, they're thinking about their inventory and thinking, well, it's just sitting there. Why wouldn't I sell it to help me and then help everybody else? And it's just really cool that you can get margaritas or Bloody Marys to go. And it's just, to me, that creativity it's enlightening. It's good. You can get a picture. Yeah. I love that. I love the fact that people really began. And as soon as it became like super serious, not that it wasn't before, but when it really hit and the restaurants couldn't have dine-in, watch out. I feel like everybody took off, and these groups, especially like still serving, you're such a great positive conduit to let people know, hey, if so-and-so's doing that, I can try that at my place.
Exactly.
I hadn't thought about that.
And that's the trend that we're seeing is we saw the grocery store, the toilet paper, we saw people that are taking and reducing their menus or doing just a curbside menu that's new. Fleming's ran a great special where they're doing a tomahawk contest yesterday. They're still doing things they would do in the restaurants, but now they're having to be extra creative about it curbside while keeping up the employee morale. And I think that's important too, because it's hard. It's hard. I have a Red Robin in the parking lot of the hotel. I kid you not. And that's like my go-to. And I talk to the one person I see outside any day that I walk by. And it's hard for them, but I'm beyond impressed with how everyone's keeping up their hopes. About 99% of what we're seeing, at least with still serving, is positivity and creativeness and community. And that's the culture we're trying to create.
Community is it. I think the collaboration piece that you all have encouraged is critical because, I think the community itself was good to each other in general, but now there's this collaborative spirit that, it existed maybe, but not so much. People are really jumping in and going, well, I did this and I could do that, or can I help you do that?
Right.
I think it's so wonderful because everybody's in that same crazy boat of, okay, how am I handling overhead? How am I trying to take care of my employees? How can I stay open and still afford to stay open? It's just, and everybody's going, good job or great job. Each restaurant sharing the other restaurant. Like
it's supportive.
Maxine went out and got Eddie Nichols stuff from Bites and Bubbles, and Maxine from Shine, and she posted it. That's the kind of stuff that's so cool to me.
And that you kind of really hit the nail on the head. We're encouraging so much of that in the group. And then of course I belong to other groups. And it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel with our group and the messages I get on a continuous basis, which keeps my spirits up high, is we're very different than everybody else. We're not, there's been no negativity in our group whatsoever. But it's that encouragement of, hey guys, what'd you buy for dinner tonight? Show us. And then you do get to see that cool thing of, Bites and Bubbles and Maxine on Shine, like everyone's working together. I always have a saying of, when I speak with my clients, it's, look, you can't look at the restaurant down the road as your competition. It's a dysfunctional family. It really is, because if I can't handle something, so-and-so down the street can, and I'm going to make sure that they're my best friend because I want to make sure the same service they're going to get from me is going to be the same service they're going to get down the road. And if it's not, I'm going to make sure I send them to somewhere it's going to be. And I'm seeing that transition into the curbside and the virtual world of it is everyone is now going, oh my God, I've lived in that area for 20 years and I didn't know that this restaurant was right around the corner from my house. Or, oh yeah, I knew that restaurant was down there, but I had no idea if they had an offer. I just tried it out for the first time. So it's not only the members that are posting the menus but supporting each other's establishments, which is really what we're going for.
I agree, and I think the curbside. I want to ask you,
Yeah.
do you when all of this is done, whenever that is, do you feel like we're going to go back to the old way, or do you feel like curbside's still going to be as increased and part of everybody's business? Are people going to really morph into something new?
So I think we're going to be a hybrid. I definitely think that you're still going to have people who are going to be afraid, and that's okay, to go out and dine. Now that they see it's more accessible, yeah, they're using Uber Eats or they're using Postmates. Their restaurants are still paying 30% of their cost of that, even though they're waiving the delivery fees. But you're seeing these companies come up with their own delivery service. Or they were going, oh my God, we could never be a takeout or a curbside place. Oh, well, look how we're executing this so wonderfully now. I think that they're going to continue to do that. They're going to, it's all money. That's what matters. Look, if you can do it to go, do it to go. When I travel for work, I don't like sitting in a restaurant by myself. I usually get the weird food to go. So now that there's more of availability for it, I think that we're going to continue the momentum. I think that, yes, people are going to be dying, like myself and probably you too, I'm sure, to get out and go into our restaurants and venues that supported us through this and really show our support and see our friends and, you know, sit across from somebody instead of just a virtual screen and be able to touch their arm and talk to them and post. But I think people are still gonna hesitate for a while, and that's okay. And that's okay as long as we're supporting each other. It doesn't matter what you do.
I agree. What about your specific business, your business? Obviously, you have thunk it all the way outside the box, and if are creative at heart, I can tell. What are you going to implement? Are you going to take some of the stuff that you've learned here and then change sort of the way you do business? Do you look at it as an opportunity?
So it's gonna come off really terrible what I'm about to say. This is me all the time. This and I'm growing from this every day because I'm seeing the community come together. But this is the kind of service I've always done. I've always been that outside of the box thinker. I've always been that creating that community and that network. And I've belonged to multiple groups and keep in touch with people that are key and important, but people that I don't know, because you never know who's going to be the next important person in your life. So this is my heart and soul poured out into a Facebook group to help the masses, if that makes any sense.
It makes complete sense. You can, that's another thing I resist. I tell the story almost every show. I resisted this platform because I didn't believe that you could feel from people what you get when you're in person. And I have to say that because I can see people and hear them at the same time, it's completely false. You can do it. You can tell when somebody's being heartfelt like you are. You can see their passion. You can see what they're passionate about. I think it is a complete, wonderful platform, guys. If you haven't tried it, utilize it. Restaurants, small businesses, reach out to me, reach out to Heather. I mean, I want to help everybody get on a platform they're not used to and do promotion maybe in a way that they couldn't I don't charge, that they couldn't afford before, that we can get them out there, because this is the time to think like that, to think different and then adapt as we go. But the collaboration, I think, is what most of us are very proud of and excited for, because I don't see that dying off.
No, I think that people are finally realizing that this is a tight-knit community. You can say it all day long, Orlando strong, which it is, but I think people are actually seeing it being executed every day, and it's mind-boggling to a lot. And the others that know each other, it's great. I heard a couple of my members were doing like a card train to a couple of different venues, and they were going around and trying to complete their bingo card by, I mean, they're staying in their car, they're ordering food, but they're doing something together. They're communicating through it all, and they're showing the support.
I love it. Heather Bedor, you're a joy.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thanks for being patient with the technology. Oh my word. Still Serving is the group, and I tagged it in the post, and we'll tag it again.
And I have a photo of our logo t-shirts.
Oh yes, let's see it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is one of them.
Look at that. Oh yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
And we've got it in like 500 different colors, but a veteran-owned business.
Beautiful.
I Know a Guy t-shirts and more. He created the logo because we wanted something for everyone to feel a part of community. everything's made in the US. This money does not go to him. This money does not go to me. This money, that all the proceeds are going to be a still serving fund is what we're creating, that those businesses are taking a hit, that are looking at closing their doors, that the owners have stopped taking any kind of salary to make sure their staff stays employed and not furloughed. This is where that money is going to go. The shirts are $17.76 because it's US made and local. And it's from a kid size to a triple XL, whatever you need. It's on our page too. And, we just want to do as much as we can to support. And if that means hawking t-shirts, we'll do that too.
You better believe it, whatever it takes.
Absolutely, whatever it takes.
You're supporting. So whatever it takes, that's a blessing. You're a blessing. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody who's helping you out on Still Serving that you mentioned. I think it's a group effort. It really is collaborative, what we're all trying to do. So Heather, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks, Ted. I appreciate you letting us chat a little bit.
Heather, check her out. Check her page out. Check Still Serving out. Reach out to her if you have any questions, anything. That group is awesome, and they're open. And if you need a place to vent, you need a place to talk, that's a great place. And they know what you're going through. So
that's right.
Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. We love you guys. We'll be back. Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.